We are only 2 days into training camp, and it has already been an eventful year for the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles stayed, Mike Evans left, Vita Vea requested a trade, and then today, the team switching from Coke to Pepsi, a nearly 20-year marriage, poof, gone. Just like that. All kidding aside, let's talk about the soon-to-be 4-year marriage with Baker Mayfield. He spent 12 minutes in front of a microphone talking about his failed contract negotiations with the Buccaneers, and with no new extension on the table, Baker got his money's worth in a different way.
You know, to feel disrespected a little bit, and that's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued. And I think I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been told I'm a franchise quarterback. It's been said publicly from ownership down. If you've waited this long to take care of your franchise quarterback, that's too bad, because it's only going to get worse from here. I'm going to have a really good year.
So it's safe to say he's mad. Considering the contentious nature of his comment, let me try to provide some perspective. First, let's talk about Baker. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said tonight that Baker's agent used comparisons to Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love. All got 4 to 5 years on their recent deals, with guarantees between $160 to $200 million. In this group, Baker has played the most games since 2023, which is when he earned the Bucs job. In this group, his QB percentage ranks second. He's got 15 more touchdowns than the next guy on this list in Jordan Love. We can dig into the minutia for hours, but all this is to say Baker feels like he is this type of guy. And when adjusting for the cap, Baker is closer to making $60 million per year versus $50. On the flip side, according to Jeremy Fowler, he is saying the Bucs offered a 2-year extension north of $100 million. I don't know what the guarantees were, very important, but that extension would have a 5 before the 0 back-to-back seasons annually. So assuming the report to be true, the Bucs are saying you're better than that Daniel Jones contract that he signed in Indy. You're better than that Geno Smith contract he signed when leaving Seattle, but you're not in that next top 11 tier. The Tua contract blew up Miami. Russell Wilson was a mess in Denver. Daniel Jones did not work out in New York. Deshaun Watson, deplorable. I mean, there is a real risk here, especially for a franchise that has never sniffed a contract, the one Baker is suggesting. All of this coming off a season where Tampa Bay collapsed, didn't make the playoffs, and Baker took a step back. So let's establish one thing here. Baker has his comps, the Bucs have theirs. Baker will accentuate the positives. The Bucs will focus more on the volatility. The compromise is somewhere in between, which has yet to be figured out. As for what lies ahead, Baker had this to say about his thoughts on the potential of a franchise tag next season.
I'm no dummy. I know the contract and salary cap, what's going on. Franchise tag isn't exactly in play for them. It'd be a lot of dead money.
And look, the Bucs do not want to use the franchise tag, but it is absolutely an option next season, despite what Baker thinks. In 2023, the Bucs led the league in dead money. They were north of $50 million the next 2 years as well. You think they're afraid of having $30 million added with the franchise tag when they're well kept for 2027? People like to say, okay, you got to factor in his salary too. Yes, $50 million in cash flow might limit some spending, but guess what? If you got a new deal, the Bucs would be doling out that kind of money anyway. It could be shifted around in creative ways, yes, but view it as two separate pots. The Bucs are not giving Baker any preferential treatment here. Chris Godwin played on the tag. Shaq Barrett led the league in sacks, played on the tag. Antoine Winfield Jr. and Cade Otton forced to play out their contract before getting signed long-term with the team. Mike Evans had to do it twice. Levante David and Rondé Barber were on the 1-year plan. Devin White stomped his feet around, requested a trade, and the Bucs are thankful they saw that final season through. Baker doesn't like the way that the Bucs are doing business, and fair, you know what, it's old. But they have a long history of taking care of their guys to a point. If Baker balls out, he's looking at a 3 to 4 year deal worth $60 million per year, roughly. I'm sure Tampa Bay would be happy to pay that if all goes well this year. But what if he doesn't ball out, with a head coach on the hot seat, with another OC who might have to be replaced? Then what? That's the fun and scary part about this season. A lot is on the line, not just for individuals like Baker, but for the entire direction of the franchise. And the answers we seek lie in the games we'll watch all year long.